What's up, sluts and heathens? It is Pride weekend across America, unless you live where I do in Portland, Oregon, which it was last week. But I wanted to talk about Pride in general and do a little shout out for my friends in the North back home. Give them a good Pride. Let's celebrate. Okay, so just a few things I've been noticing with prides of years past. I recently moved out to the West Coast. I've spent a little under 2 years here, but this was my second pride here this year, and it was fucking awful. So I wanted to talk about it because whenever I vent to my boyfriend about it, he thinks I'm a pessimist who likes to keep bad situations alive, so I wanted to vent on my YouTube channel. But basically what I was finding with this pride, especially here in Portland, is it's really small. So I'm used to Minneapolis Pride being fucking massive because let's face it, it invites South Dakota, North Dakota, Iowa, Wisconsin, fucking Nebraska. Nobody over there has a better pride unless you go to Chicago, but that's a whole nother beast. So all those people back in those kind of farm states, flyover country, they migrate to one big pride, and it ends up turning out I think just under 1 million people. It's insane. The park, it's free, it's fun, there are vendors there, but it's also local crafts, artists. I went to see some of my best friends perform in their bands there for the first time they did shows, and Pride is just really about a festival of one minority group inviting others in to learn about that minority group. I really do feel like the tradition of what Pride used to be is completely lost at this point. I think it became monetized, it became an advertising free-for-all, and the gays just became new clients. That literally is all that happened over the last, I'd want to say, even 5 years. The thing that really breaks my heart, and I'm sure all my fellow fags are super sympathetic at this point, the only ones continuing watching are either making fun of me or in agreeance, but seriously, Pride used to be about informing younger generations about the struggle. It was for real, and it was about, gathering straight allies and keeping the community safe and in touch with each other. It was really about something. It was really to progress a movement, and now it is literally what you do in Portland. Bars don't even consistently do much, and there were a few block parties, so if you want to get your drink on, they were kind of fun. We stopped by a couple of them. But parties are easy to come by, right? While a good portion of Pride is about the party, and I'm not coming down on that at all. We all need a good celebration. But the other part is the gross part where the festival took place at the Riverfront Park. So in Minneapolis, it's going to be at Loring Park. Much better park to host something like this. Just kind of a vast layout right on the outskirts of downtown. This was the same. However, with this Pride, it was completely gated off, and it was a suggested donation of $7. However, I didn't want to pay that to go into a festival where I knew 90% of the booths were going to be vendors trying to sell to me. Little did I know how vendor heavy it was truly going to be. When we got to the doors, they grilled us for our $7, and when we said we didn't want to pay because we wanted to check out what the festival was first, they scoffed and rolled their eyes, which I was like, really? Really? You don't even seem gay. You're not part of the queer community. It was this straight blonde girl throwing a tiff because I didn't want to part with a Hamilton. I was like, really, bitch? What the fuck? It was really confusing. We got in there, thank God. We decided not to pay. We walked up and down the rows, all fucking vendors, and whenever you walked up to them, you either had to fucking spin a wheel just to talk to them to see what their fucking shit was about, or they wanted money for something. I literally was gonna put little pins, gay pins, all over my backpack, so I was collecting the mini guys. I'd go up to them, grab one, and 4 out of 5 times the people were like, those are $1, or you can answer a question and spin our wheel. And I was like, ew, what? So I just put them back. I was like, no, I'm not having this. I'm not one to be sold to. I don't want your shit. I don't want your garbage. I don't want it. I'm taking your merch to promote your fucking business, you idiots. And I looked at all the people coming into Pride just being like, wow, you're literally paying them $7 to get fucking Target and Nike's dumbass in here to then sell to you, and you're going to pay for that shit too. You're just a consumer. Pride what? So many straight people were on the outside of this park entrance being like, what is that? And then they'd figure out, oh, it's gay pride, blah, blah, blah. And the moment they got to, should we check it out, and saw that there was a $7 donation, they were like, why? Like, what am I paying $7 for? The point of pride is to have this open community ready to embrace any and all. And you're supposed to be there to inform and to teach and to share and to compromise and to be harmony with everybody in your city, in your community. But putting up gates and charging fees and shit, like, I don't know what fucking shady ass Hillary Clinton supporting gay started this monetization of everything gay. Like, I just don't get it. You had to pay $7 to get in, and then Nike, the fucking Oregon-based company who was basically boasting that they're promoting Pride Festival, had these shirts for sale for $30. You're gonna charge $7 to get in, and then $30 for a shirt in your home state? Really? Nike couldn't afford to put on Pride? They couldn't have just made Pride free? They couldn't have given away t-shirts? I'm sure they're hurting. I mean, this is ridiculous. For all the people in Oregon who work at Nike, appalled by you and by your overly zealous rants about how you work for the best company in the world. Meanwhile, fucking slave and child labor across seas doesn't bother you. Or pollution rates that are fucking skyrocketing out of control. Like, I'm so tired of people and their opinions and why the man in the system works so well for everybody. It's like, really? You want to monetize a festival? I mean, honestly, I went to the side and there were these booths, and there was one for Latino Pride and one for Black Pride. And I was reading through them. I was like, I want to go to all the Black Pride events because they were just at little parks, and it said it was there was going to be music, games, prizes, and just like hanging out. Like, it's literally, that is all Pride is for me, is a place to go, get together with friends, meet people in your community, dance, hook up, have fun. I'm not trying to snuff out all the fun. I am game for fun. Pride weekend should be a rager. It should be 5 days of drinking straight or smoking weed if you're upgrading yourself, okay? But along with that, I mean, I'd like it to be a place where people who don't feel accepted can come and learn and grow and feel safe. Like, for real. Maybe it isn't me now, but it was me a decade ago. And I find myself truly fortunate that I was introduced to the gay community right at the tail end of it being accepting. I mean, honestly, within the last 5 years, it did a complete 180. You go to a gay bar now, it's all fucking judgment, and it's all size queens and gym bunnies and fucking narcissists. It's people who are just in there to, like, put the next person to come in the door down. Honestly, it was like a huge reality check when I started to realize, like, holy shit, in order to, like, make it in gay world, like the scene, you have to just, like, be perpetually rude and evil and bitchy, and, like, you fall back on these traits and you're like, well, it's my community, but it's, like, fucking gross. Like, I'm starting to understand so much more, especially the rivalry between lesbians and gay men. Like, gay men are fucking sick sometimes, and it bothers me that they're so boisterous about every fucking issue, but then can't see how much hypocrisy is coming off of their own community. Like, the fact that we're going to sit and charge people to go to an event where they're supposed to feel accepted, the fact that, you know, we're letting companies treat us as profit producers, consumers. That's what Pride is turning into. It's no longer a festival of appreciation and harmony. It's a festival of money and consumerism. And that's it. And I mean, I don't expect this video to be impactful. It's just a rant. Like I said, I couldn't do it exactly at home. I was getting chewed out for not seeing the fun and the light and the optimism in it all. But honestly, don't fucking give me shit and then paint it up and tell me it's a gift. Like, it's still bullshit. This is bullshit. Like, I'm very aware of what a good Pride is, and it does not always consist of blowing through $500 a weekend. Like, sorry about it. It honestly, I was just disappointed. I think Portland Pride is a joke, and I haven't checked out Seattle or San Francisco. I'm sure they're much better, bigger cities. But honestly, I'm just really disappointed overall in seeing Pride around this country and probably globally just turn into a monetized event. I read an article that was talking about LA Pride turning into a fucking outdoor concert festival, and it's so fucking ageist because it's pushing elderly gay people, and I feel bad even saying elderly. It's probably like 40 or 50 on up who just don't want to pay $200 to go to a music festival. I wouldn't even pay that. Like, it's not even about youth. It's about principle. It's so fucking dumb. But, like, LA Pride gone to shit. Never been to it, so I'm not, like, full-on judging it firsthand, but I'm sure it has, and I don't care. Don't clap back. I don't care if you're so proud of your city you want to boast about its pride. I've been to a lot of them. They're not that great anywhere you go. It is definitely about the people you hang with. It is about the love and participation you have in the weekend. I could give a shit if you're hanging out with strangers. You can have the best pride with strangers if you make it that. But this money thing, everybody having to pay $25 to go to a fucking rager, or 75 to go to a concert in a park with fucking DJs plugging in their iPods. It's like, fuck you, man. Fuck you. Sorry. Super annoyed. Anyway, I do want to shout out to any of the LGBT community. Embrace Pride. It is an amazing event. June is Pride Month, and we should feel great about that. It's a great month to get the message out there, to help people feel accepted, and to spread love, man. That's all it's about. But honestly, take a little time to start thinking, why do I want to throw my money to support Target, Best Buy, and Nike selling to me? Not giving to me. Not making me feel accepted, but selling to me. I'm going to pay you to sell to me. Like, what's going on? Weird to me. Anyway, clap back with any comments you have. I'm sure I'll get plenty. But take care of yourself the rest of the day. Happy Pride, and talk to you next week. And just a little side piece of information for you. My boyfriend just came home and was reading some information about San Francisco and LA prides, and there is a notice in there stating that police checkpoints will be at every point of entry, and because of the Orlando shootings, they will be checking any bag or excessive item you bring in on your person, and that they're discouraging people from bringing bags in general. They're also saying no alcohol, no bottles of plastic or glass, no smoking, no drugs, no loitering. It's like it's a fucking festival. And we were laughing because there was a blip in there that said, basically don't bring anything that the police would deem a weapon. Okay, so like a foam finger. I mean, my God, we're getting to a place in this country where it's like, fear everything, don't have fun, always remain questioning, right? And I just wanted to put this in this video because it's exactly relating to what we're talking about. This Orlando shooting that took place, in my opinion, was a false flag. And I'm not here to debate that with anybody. I'm not saying I know what happened. That's the point. It was a false flag to deter attention on these fucking gun regulation laws and inflicting awful prides across the country. So, like the San Francisco notice said, the unsettling news of seeing that the San Francisco Pride is going to be overrun with excessive police, both in uniform and dressed as civilians. That's terrifying. And, you know, to be told how to act at a festival for my community by people who 50 years ago were against my community, and less than 50. I mean, 50 is when we're talking about the Stonewall riots, which is something you'd learn about at Pride if Pride was genuinely what it used to be, when black drag queens and trans members of the community threw bricks and stuff while the police were forcibly removing them from bars and telling them they weren't allowed in their community gatherings. I mean, like, the contention between the police and minorities of any group is high. But like Kanye says, every minority is the new black, so get used to it, because we're all being corralled and treated like zoo animals, and for nobody to wake up, for you not to realize that you're being duped by your politicians, and for you to think that Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton will not perpetuate or make this shit worse, you're crazy. And I'm not even backing Bernie Sanders anymore after his debauchery today of saying he would vote for Hillary. I don't buy any of their bullshit. Know that your politicians lie to you. Don't support that shit. Speak out against whatever you see an injustice happening in your community. Don't throw all your weight behind a fucking leader, a political leader. They're sniveling, spineless assholes. Don't trust them. But seriously, enjoy Pride. Let's try to take it back. God forbid we the people stood up and took one of our things back, right? Like, maybe professed that we didn't exactly love going to an all-day festival outside where we're going to have to pay tons of money, and we can't even bring a bag or a bottle of liquor. Where's my brown juice? I can't bring my weed? Get off your damn self. This festival, it's bullshit, and if you go, good luck, have fun, enjoy your walking around in your sweltering heat with cops checking your shit every 20 minutes. Fucking joke.